Good morning, y'all. This is Mr. Outcourage, and I'm freestyling off the top of the dome. I just felt compelled this morning to reach out and send y'all a message. Um, Everybody is going through it. Everybody is uncertain. I know everybody's a big word, but most people uncertain about what's going on out there. And I want to briefly tell you about how I got the name Mr. Outcourage, and hopefully I can lean into this situation that we have, this health crisis. Back during uh, the economic downturn with the housing crisis, and back in '08, '09, I was asked by a friend of mine to come and give a word of encouragement to a group of real estate agents and investors and business people. And on my way over to give this word of encouragement, I've always found myself fairly positive and putting out positive messages, contrary to popular belief. Um, and on my way over there, God said to me, there's no such word as encouragement. And God tends to do that when he wants you to ask, well, what do you mean? And what he said to me was, encouragement means to give courage. That's what the word actually means. The denotative uh, definition of encouragement is to give courage. And he said, you don't need anyone to give you courage. All things that pertain to life, this life, living, and godliness has been given to you, is inside of you. And then he gave me this illustration. He said, if a car fell on top of a child, and it was your child, a woman wouldn't need Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Anthony Robbins to come along and give her encouragement to lift the car. There's something deep inside of that mother that would reach down and do what it takes to lift that car off of her child. And so he gave me the word out courage. So all I ever do is remind people that you have courage in you, and all you need to do is untap it and release it. That's out courage. So during this time, I want to remind everyone, you don't need anyone to come and tell you it's going to be all right. You may think you do, but there is a voice, there is a self-assuredness inside of each and every one of us that tells us it's going to be all right. We've always been all right. Mankind and humanity, I don't care what culture, what your background is. If you went through the Holocaust, if you went through slavery, if you went through oppression, if you went through starvation, and I'm talking about Europe, Africa, America, any place throughout history, mankind has always overcome our challenges and dilemmas, and we will do that again now. So I think the thing right now is to just be mindful of each other, to get back down to basics, be more loving, be more considerate, be more concerned about others outside of yourself. Obviously, especially as a man and a father, I want to make sure my family is okay. But if that's where my concern stops, then I'm not doing enough. I'm not being a participant in mankind, and making sure that we survive as a species. So just want to reach out and let everyone know that you have what it takes to make it through this. I think it's wise to be informed, but not information for fear and alarm, but knowledge can be wisdom if applied correctly. I don't think that we should be inundated with news and our phones and TV news and I know people think that, at times news centers can be misleading, or they may just be passing on misinformation like they received it. There's a Bible scripture, which is my favorite book, that says deceiving and being deceived. People aren't always passing on information because they know it's deceptive. They think that it's real and true. And so I understand people out there with conspiracies and, maybe the government initiated this, or you can never know. God alone knows. You can't know. You can theorize and you can speculate, but you can't know. And so I think it's also a time for people to reunite with whatever their faith is, with a belief in someone or something outside of yourself, beyond yourself. You get to a place where your name, your pedigree, your money, your education, none of these things insulate you or prevent you from, contracting this virus. You have to hope. You have to believe. You have to trust in someone or something bigger than yourself, or not. Because as far as I can see, rich people, famous people, pretty people, talented people, they're not impervious to contracting this virus. So there's an old saying that my father-in-law uses. He said, trust God, but tie your camel down. And that just means, my trust is in God, but I'm still going to wash my hands. I'm still going to look both ways before I cross the street. I'm still going to give all 6 of my kids bottles of hand sanitizer to make sure that they're being diligent with cleanliness as they, move to and fro. We want to be somewhat restrictive in our movements, and without trying to really change the way that we move around and socialize. I mean, there's people outside right now. I hear kids and sometimes a crisis like this can be used in a positive way to reconnect as people and humans, and reconnect with our humanity and not rely so much on technology. Because cell phones, 5G, all of that cannot prevent you from contracting this virus. So, we got to get back to basics. But fear isn't the way to go. Panic is not the way to go. I think we have to remain vigilant, consistent, human, and we have to remain hopeful and faithful to those things that we believe and principled in them. I love you. Praying for you. I hope and trust in the Most High Living God, and have full confidence that we're going to be all right. I've read the book. I've read its ending, and this is not how it goes. So that's where my faith lies, and whom my faith lies in is the Most High Living God and His Son, Yeshua. So tap into your faith. This is not religious talk. I'm not talking about rituals and whatnot. I'm talking about that core place that's in us all, where we sense and acknowledge that there's a God, whatever you want to call him, her, it, them. And that's the most comforting place that you can go to. Not the news center, not the news channel, not your neighbor, not even your pastor or your priest or your imam. It is inside, within, not without. That's where your confidence, that's where your faith, that's where all the surety lies, is inside of you. This is Mr. Outcourage telling you, be courageous, be kind, be loving. And I'm just going to come off the dome each morning that I can and just reach out and let y'all know we're good. It's going to be all right. If you need to holler at your boy, reach out. One love.